I'm Samuels. I work for the company. We think we may have found her, Amanda. We get to shut the book. Ripley.
Hi guys, I'm Roger Knowles and welcome to the AlwaysGamesTV Alien Isolation news update. What we're going to do is we're going to create a series of videos leading up to the launch of Alien Isolation, informing you of the news and announcements that Sega and Creative Assembly release on the way up to launch. So in this first video we're going to cover everything that we know so far with the Alien Isolation. As some of you may already know, on the 7th of January, Sega announced Alien Isolation, a new Alien game to be developed by Creative Assembly. Instead of going down the route of a first-person shooter, like many of the previous Alien games, Isolation will take inspiration from Ridley Scott's original horror classic. Alien Isolation will be a first-person survival horror, resembling games like Outlast, Amnesia, and Slender 8 Pages, which have recently been some of the most popular horror games to hit the market. One of the main differences to this game, compared to the previous ones, is that it will only have one alien, and it will be constantly hunting you. Creative Assembly have built one of the most complex decision-making trees for the alien. It will search and hunt for you, it will investigate things and eliminate possibilities, it will improvise and even retreat to vents or hide in the ceiling sections. If you outsmart it too many times, it will actually leave and prepare an ambush for you. Apparently the alien will also learn at different rates on every playthrough. So just because the technique worked on a previous playthrough, doesn't mean it will work on the next time you play. It also sounds like Creative Assembly have created a living, breathing Xenomorph in this game. Giving you a little rundown on the backstory and the synopsis of the game. It's set in 2137, 15 years after the events of Alien, and 42 years before the events of Aliens. It focuses on Ellen Ripley's daughter, Amanda Ripley, who, while investigating her mother's disappearance, is ordered to go to the space station Sevastopol to recover the data that could help her locate her missing mother, unaware that the Xenomorph has already infested the station. The player will board the decommissioned trading station. On the station, in the fringes of space, fear and panic have gripped the inhabitants. Players will find themselves in an atmosphere of constant dread and mortal danger as an unpredictable, ruthless Xenomorph is stalking and killing deep in the shadows. Underpowered and underprepared, the player must scavenge resources, improvise solutions, and even use their wits not just to succeed in their mission, but to simply stay alive. Alistair Hope, creative lead at Creative Assembly, spoke about the game. In Alien Isolation, we have taken the series back to the roots of Ridley Scott's 1979 movie, the original survival horror. Our alien is a truly terrifying creature, as intelligent as he is hostile, and relentless, brutal and unstoppable. This is the Alien game fans of the series have always wanted. Also, Jeffrey Godswick, president of 20th Century Fox Consumer Products, went on to say, Creative Assembly have created a truly incredible gaming experience, capturing perfectly the very core of what made the Alien franchise remain relevant after 35 years. This partnership has led to the creation of a game that is simply outstanding and sets the tone for what is to come in this year for the 35th anniversary of Alien. John McKellen, the lead UI artist, spoke about that Fox had provided 3 terabytes of data that has never been seen before and never been made public. He said, things like the blueprints of the original set of Nostromo, so we could work out exactly what size and shape things were, cross-sections of props and chairs that told us what materials they were made out of, so we would know if they were made of plastic or polystyrene. It just gave us much more to go on. He also spoke about some of their rules they had for creating items within the game. We had this rule. If a prop couldn't have been made in 1979 with the things that they had around, then we wouldn't make it either. So we don't reference any objects or materials that have been created after the release of the film. So all of our reference material is the same as the reference material they had. We use the same inspiration, which is great, and it kind of pitches in a new directions. He also spoke about in-game videos and user interface and how they made it look like VHS style footage. We took many different approaches to try and get there, and it turned out the best way to get there was to do it for real, McKellen said. So we would record gameplay footage onto a VHS cassette and then put magnets near the screen and shake the cables and jump on them. Overall guys, it does look like they were taking a lot of inspiration from the original Alien film, which I personally think is fantastic. It seems to me that all the previous Alien games, or Alien vs Predator, just seem to focus purely on shooting and explosions, which is not what the original film was about. It's nice to see that they're going to be focusing on an old style of horror, the use of sound and shadows and light, and put them all together to make the player use their own mind to scare themselves. Even if you don't see the alien, I can imagine that you're going to be terrified anyway, because you've got to be thinking, whereabouts is it? Is it in the room? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's there. Looking back at some of the footage, like I said before about the lighting, it is absolutely gorgeous. It really does add a lot of atmosphere and tension, and it really does feel like you're back on the Nostromo itself. Also, if you listen to some of the aspects of the trailer and the gameplay footage, you can hear some of the classic alien music playing in the background, which I think really does add some of the nostalgia of it. One of the mechanics I did notice, when you're playing as Amanda and she looks down at the motion sensor, you will notice in the distance it will actually blur to represent her focusing on the actual motion tracker and not what's ahead of her, which I personally think adds to the actual realistic aspect of it, if that makes any sense, because you wouldn't be able to look ahead of yourself and look down at the motion sensor at the same time. But also, if you look again in the gameplay, she actually has the motion tracker up and looks ahead of herself, which brings it into focus, but then blurs the actual motion tracker. I think this little bit of a mechanic, which seems, I guess at the present moment, quite minor, personally to me, I think it's going to be quite exciting and quite atmospheric and really going to pull you into the whole atmosphere of it all. One thing that did concern me, however, is I was worried that it was going to be a form of a roller coaster horror, very much like Outlast, which is not a bad game by any means, but what I mean is that every time you play it, the same jump scares are going to be in the same place. However, listening to what the developers have been saying about the alien and about its AI and how it plays differently every single time you play it, and it can do random things at different times, gives a lot of replay value to this game, which is really exciting. Going back to the atmosphere aspect of it, in one of the rooms that you see in the gameplay, you'll see Amanda approach the table and there'll be crayons and toys on the table to represent that this place was a living ship and people were aboard it living out their lives until the Xenomorph turned up, which personally makes it even more terrifying and shocking at the same time. Overall guys, if it hasn't come across in this video, I am very much looking forward to Alien Isolation and what Creative Assembly are going to do with it. Alien Isolation is set to release later this year on PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Thank you so much for watching guys. If you want to keep up to date with the Alien Isolation news, please subscribe and more videos will be coming soon. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and check out our website www.AlwaysGamesTV.com. I'm Roger Knowles, this is Always Games TV, we'll see you next time.
I'm Samuels. I work for the company. We think we may have found her, Amanda. We get to shut the book. Ripley.